you want me to say my name first? I'm Catherine Myers, Director of the Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services. Ronald L. Davis stated in the Cops e-newsletter in August 2016 that policing in the United States is unique because it's not centralized as it is in other countries, nor is it under the direct control of the federal government. Maybe you or somebody that you know has been impacted by police brutality. Even if you haven't, we all go to school in Minnesota, where George Floyd's death sparked one of the largest outcries against racism in America since the Civil War era. The American police system needs to be reformed. The methods of reformation that I'm going to talk about today are, first, reforming the training that police officers go through, and second, reforming the police system as a whole. Firstly, I'll be talking about that first method of reformation, which is changing the police training. The training that police officers go through needs to become more thorough and have a larger focus on mental health and anger management and emotional management. Currently, in Minnesota, to become a police officer, it is not required to have de-escalation training, and that is according to the police training requirements. And according to an article on police reform on the Vox homepage, in a breakdown averagely of the hours required to become a police officer, 8 of those hours are dedicated to mediation and conflict management, while 60 of those hours are dedicated to firearm skills, and 51 of those hours to self-defense. I think that gives you an idea of how little conflict management and mediation are valued in the police force. Now that I've talked about changing the training that police officers go through, I'm now going to talk about the police system as a whole and how that can be reformed. The police system needs to become more categorized and broken down into departments. Another option for changing the police system would be adding psychologists or social workers. Those individuals would give the highlight of the mental health, the emotional management, while allowing the officers themselves to focus on the safety aspect. In an article titled "Adding a Counselor's Voice to Law Enforcement," it was said that law enforcement is good at a lot of things, but threat assessment is not one of those things. So if you were to add social workers, psychologists to your law enforcement, they would be able to focus on that threat assessment. Another thing that I believe is valuable to add to the police system is holding them accountable. An example of showing this would be to report all fatalities, including police officers, back to a higher authority. This ensures that if police officers are in the wrong and are a part of a murder, justice is brought. The 85-15 rule states that the problem, in this case police brutality, is 85% a problem of the system and 15% a problem of the employees, showing that even though police officers can be corrupt, the problem is within the system. With that being said, though, the phrase "a few bad apples" is often used to rebuttal police brutality. But I believe that within an enforcement that claims to serve and protect, there is no room for a few bad apples. Today, I have talked about, first, the training that police officers go through and the reformation that could happen to that. And second, the police system as a whole and the reformation that could happen to that. The American police system needs to be reformed. George Floyd's death has sparked one of the largest outcries against racism and police brutality in America. But I hope that if we can adjust the American police system to better serve and protect all U.S. citizens, we will never have an outcry like this again.